Welcome back to Moulin de Quinon. Yesterday morning, I kind of went, yay, that's the final stone wall finished. As you can see, I've kind of inked it all out. It's ready for all dusting down, and all the others behind me are all done. So that's the dining room and bar area. So I said, that's it. No more stone walls. Then we decided to move over our wood burning stove. Now, our wood burning stove is obviously going into our lounge area. And we said we better get it moved over because we've got a heating engineer who's coming to help Paul. And one of the jobs is to look at how we're going to put the flues straight through 3 floors and out the ceiling. So we said we better get it across and position it in this corner. So that's it, actually under a tarpaulin. So the idea was it's going into this corner area here. It's what they call a teepee stove. So it's quite tall, as you can see. To me, it's it's nearly as tall as me. So the idea was it's kind of going into this corner. This part was a wall I'd stripped when we kind of first moved in, and then the idea was this was all going to be wallpapered, and I even have the wallpaper to put on the wall as well. Then we were reading up on the regulations, which state, you know, how far the stove actually has to be away from a wall, and depending on what the wall is made of, you know, there's a different size. So we made a decision. We said, right, okay, why don't we just strip this section? You can see it was all really thick plaster. This whole wall was thick plaster. We said, why don't we just strip away that kind of just over 1 metre to make this corner all stone, and then the stove can sit in there on its granite plinth, and that will be fine. It will tick all the regulations and things like that. So I started stripping this wall, and this wall seemed to get bigger and bigger and bigger because we then looked at the wall, and for all it's probably in one of the worst states of any of the walls, it's pretty bad. We decided, let's just get all of this plaster off and make a full stone wall of it as another feature wall. But this wall has really uncovered a lot of its history, to be honest. You can see here we've got beams and supports through the wall here. Can you see that? And we have other ones here as well. So we've got like concrete and then the actual wood timber beams there. And we've actually, I don't know if you can kind of see it on camera, but this is actually a piece of wood running all the way through, and you can see it's absolutely rotten. It's literally kind of dropping to pieces. So we think there's potentially of being, because these beams kind of go right the way through the wall to the outer side where the water is, we think there's probably been another wheel on that wall on the outside at some point in its history, in its 800 years. So that's quite interesting. So the plan is now to obviously get all of this wood out and clean this room, this wall up. And hopefully this one will be the final one. Fingers crossed.